during this time of quarantine. I hope that you are spending time doing things and maybe you don't always get to do. I know for me, I've been doing a lot more drawing, but also a lot more researching and reading and spending time kind of focusing on like not just my family, but also my business and kind of in the way that realizing how these two things are connected in a lot of ways. And it's been a challenging experience, but it's also been an eye-opening experience. But that's a conversation for a later time. But I hope that you all are safe and comfortable and that you have everything that you need. And if you don't, that you'll reach out and just ask the question, where can I get this thing that I need? So if you've been following my content, you know that for a while I've been focusing very heavily on financial topics, real estate and passive income. The reason being is because a lot of people, I feel like, I know when I was in a state of very, very deep struggle, it was because I had a lack of access to the information. I'm not going to say lack of access to resources because a lot of the things that I have access to now were already there. I just didn't know how to access them. I didn't know how to use them. And so that's the reason why so many times within my podcast and within my social media posts and my blog that I speak repeatedly about how to utilize credit to make money, how to get started on a strong, solid foundation in real estate as an investor, and also how to utilize passive income, because my goal is to show people how to use what you already have to advance your situation, because you can't wait for some really good paying job to come along to change your financial situation. You can't wait for maybe somebody to give you a gift of like $5,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't wait for that. That can't be what you're holding out for. So how can I show people the power of their present situation? How to use what you already have to get where you're trying to get. That's what survival is. That's what thriving is. That's the difference between somebody who's just barely getting by and somebody who's thriving, is knowing and being taught how to use what you have to get ahead. You ever watch those videos of those guys surviving in the middle of the desert or like in the middle of the rainforest? And the reason why they're able to do that is not because they have access to anything that anybody else who might be lost in that space has. They have the same access, but they know how to use it differently. And so that's my focus with giving out this information. So if you haven't already, I want you guys to search for Word of a Rebel on Spotify, iTunes, or Anchor app, or any podcast platform that you prefer. I'm even on Google Podcasts. Look for Word of a Rebel, and you'll see that I have probably over 200 episodes now. Find something that fits what it is that you're interested in and press play, and let me know if you gained something from it, if you gained some knowledge from it, or maybe you know somebody who needed it, and then share it to them. So today's video, I want to focus on two major things, which is updates on the real estate situation, the real estate market in Louisiana, as well as the mortgages, and then secondly, touching on a little bit with passive income. So first of all, within the real estate market, let's talk about who should be buying and who should not be buying. So people who were planning to use the state's down payment assistance, be aware that the down payment grant from the state level is not going to be available until after quarantine sometime. So if you planned on using that, be aware that it's no longer available. The parish level grant is still available, so if that's what you were going for, continue forward with your process, okay? So which of these grants is accessible to you? Now, number one, both of these are for first-time home buyers. People who are not first-time home buyers, I'm going to speak to you guys in just a few minutes. So first-time home buyers who planned on buying a single-family property. Single-family property means one household, not two within the same property. Basically, I always say it's the number of kitchens that makes it a household. So if you have a single-family household that you plan to buy, you can still get the parish level funding assistance, and I can explain to you how to qualify for it. It's very simple. You can do everything online. Just message me and say that you're interested. The parish level funds applies to paying the down payment and the closing costs, as well as a portion of the mortgage itself. So you can get qualified for more than you would alone without it. Within that, you still would be required to come up with $1,500 of your own money to put toward the property, and you would still have to pay for your own homeowner's inspection, your house inspection. Your house inspection is going to run you between $500 to $600 depending on how big the property is. So just to give you an idea, if you have access to $2,100 and you plan on buying single family property, you should still go forward and hit me up, and I can tell you how to make sure you get that assistance funding. And once again, this is funding you do not have to pay back, but I'll explain to you what the requirements are for getting approved to receive the funding, and also contacting you with a lender. For people who planned on buying multifamily properties, the parish level funds cannot be applied to a multifamily property, but the state level funds could. So if your goal was to buy multifamily, I suggest holding on to every dollar that you have that you do not have to spend, and waiting until the summer to take that step forward to buying something. What I want you guys to do is to leave me a comment or send me a message and say, I want to buy multifamily, I'm a first time buyer, I need the state's assistance. Or just very simply say state assistance. Because what I'm going to do is everybody who's interested in using the state's down payment assistance, as soon as I find out that it's available again, I'm going to be messaging you guys to keep you updated. So if you want me to send you that update, drop me your name so that I know, and I'll put you on my calendar to hit you up immediately when that money is available again. Because that's what I used to get my first property. You still have to put some money out of pocket, but the majority of people who use the down payment assistance can pay anywhere from like $2,100 to $3,000 out of pocket, complete total cost out of pocket. It's the way that I work the contract, the way that I negotiate, the way that the lender works on your behalf, gets you into that situation. So hold on to every bit of dollar that you have. If you got a tax refund, hold on to that. The stimulus check, if you don't need it, keep it. Just keep that money. Hold on to it, okay? Because it could be a benefit for you later on this year. Now, for those of you who already have a mortgage, right? You already own a property and you have a mortgage on it. This is still a good time to buy because there are fewer buyers out there shopping as a result of the change in the credit requirements and the change in the down payment assistance. So you're in a position to have more bargaining power as a buyer. So you definitely still want to go forward with it. What I want to show you is the difference between buying as an owner-occupier of property, whether single or multifamily, and buying as an investor, and which option is best for you, and we can craft that for you. The goal with real estate for me is that I want to see people lowering their cost of living, number one, and number two, most of the people who work with me are just more ethical than some of these out-of-state buyers who are overcharging for rent on these properties. So I want to see more of us who are ethical, more of us who care about the community owning these properties so that the rents can be more fair. But also, we have to make sure that the parish understands this and that the parish reduces those property taxes, because property taxes are factored into rent as well. And that goes into which way should you buy. Should you buy as an owner-occupier or as an investor? And I can explain how that affects taxes for those of you that are interested. So, if you're interested in learning more about coming into this as an investor and you already have a mortgage, hit me up and then we can have that conversation about how to properly set yourself up to get that lower tax bracket, to making the decision between which one of your houses are you going to have the homestead exemption on, and how to move forward for your best interest. But it's definitely a good time to buy if you planned on buying your second or third property. Now, anybody out there who owns a property but does not have a mortgage, you still qualify for the first time home buyer options and funding that's available. So, hit me up about that. Even if you have a property in your name, so you inherited it or something like that, you don't have a mortgage, you can still possibly go for that first time home buyer programming. Also, co-op ownership. So anybody out there who already has a mortgage, or anybody who just does, look, I just don't want the first time home buyer thing at all, co-op ownership is the route to go. I really encourage a lot of people to do this. Basically, what you would do is a group of people would all put up money toward the down payment and the upfront cost of the property, right? So you're splitting it up so that each person puts less money down. And then you buy a property, and then you're able to all earn income from that property as a group. It is an easier way of getting started as an investor instead of having to wait for yourself to get all of that money up front. Now, this goes for people whether you're first time, second, third, whatever home buyer. It doesn't matter. You can do a co-op purchase and really come out ahead. So if you're interested in doing something like that, hit me up. Myself and 2 other people are coming together for a property later this year. We might end up speeding up the process because of current situation. It's good to buy right now. So we're going to be having that conversation soon to see if we should grab something before the quarantine is over. It's a reality. The quarantine is making it good to buy for some people. And so if you're in that group, you should grab it. So that's just kind of like touching on some of the conversations. So if you're interested in learning more specifically to your situation, send me a message or drop me a comment so that I can get the information from you that I need to properly advise you on what to do as a real estate investor or just buyer in general. So now I want to transition into the conversation about passive income. So when it comes to passive income, you have several options, and I advise people just to kind of choose something that really, really works for you. So passive income is something I talk about just as much as I talk about real estate, because it is a way of earning money for your household that doesn't require any additional time or energy to be wasted outside of the home. You can very, very simply build something kind of like a small business of sorts, but it's going to be something that doesn't require a lot of your energy. So some options for passive income, most of these are going to relate to products that you will then be able to promote, but also the websites will promote for you. So for example, you can do things like on Teachers Pay Teachers. For educators out there, if you've got workshops, worksheets, workbooks, activities that you've prepared for your lessons or whatever else, you have these, you've already created them. If they're your original content, you can upload them to Teachers Pay Teachers, and other educators will then buy them from you, and you'll get paid that money. It's been a very successful tool for me as an educator at a university. I share my content and others buy from me. And regardless of the age of your students, there's going to be somebody out there who needs that resource. Another platform that works for people who, regardless of what skills you have, is Udemy. On Udemy, it's spelled Udemy. You can upload content, and it doesn't matter what lesson it is that you're uploading. You can upload videos and text documents and audios where you're basically explaining a skill that you have. It could be gardening, it could be how to properly clean a car, it could be dancing, it could be photography, it could be crocheting. Anything that you have a skill on, you can create content on Udemy, and Udemy will promote the lessons for you to people searching for the content, but you can also promote it on your websites, on your social media, to people who follow your content already and who might be interested in learning from you. It's a great resource for reaching a broad audience with your content. I teach English as a second language in my day job, and so it's something that I also do on Udemy. So consider, that route. Also, what's another one? Payhip. Payhip is a great resource, regardless of what digital format your content is in. You can sell it on Payhip. This one doesn't promote for you, but you can utilize the platform to sell any digital content, whether it be audio or text or video. It could be books, it could be workbooks, it could be music samples. Anything that is downloadable that you may have out there that people want to buy from you, you can put it on Payhip and they can automatically download it and pay for the download, and you get all of the money from that. Another one that is good, Redbubble and Teespring. If you're somebody who has a knack for creating really, really cool like clothing and home decor, Redbubble and Teespring is a great option. They'll promote the content for you, but once again, if you have followers who like your stuff that you do, it's a great way to get them to buy your products for you. You don't have to. What I love about Redbubble and Teespring is you don't have to pay for copies of the like pillows or shirts or stickers or cell phone cases. You don't have to buy them and then like sell the product. They're print on demand basically. So print on demand services are really great of making a passive income. And like I said, they both Redbubble and Teespring promote for you, but then you can also promote to people who already follow your content. Let's see, what's another one? So we got PayHip, Udemy, Redbubble, Teespring, Teachers Pay Teachers. I feel like I'm forgetting one. So, dividend stocks. We've got to talk about dividend stocks. So if you've already been following my social media or my blog or my podcast, you already know that I definitely love dividend stocks, and I'm going to explain to you why. First of all, if you have not already started following my podcast, be sure to look me up on Spotify, iTunes, also on the Anchor app, Google Podcasts, several other platforms, at Word of a Rebel. I mostly talk about financial tips that I've learned. These are no nonsense, common sense things that anybody can apply to change their financial situation. Me speaking as somebody who, started with next to nothing, honestly, went through several financial struggles and learned how to always make it out and make it up and over. One of my friends in the past told me that he had no doubt that I was going to succeed because I always found a way. And that is true. So I put together some of my best tips and tricks into that. It's basically what I mentioned at the beginning, which is using what you have already to come out ahead. So when we talk about these dividend stocks, if you've ever heard the analogy about would you choose $100,000 payment now, or would you want to have a penny that then doubles the next day, and that every day the amount of money that you have doubles, right? And if you've ever heard of this scenario, what you realize is that within 30 days, I think you end up with like $1 million or something like that. It's something like insane. It's definitely way over the $100,000 one-time payment. That's basically what I compare dividend stocks to, because if you take the increase in money that you receive from them and you reinvest it, it constantly compounds onto itself. So what is a dividend stock? Basically, it's a stock that you buy, and then every quarter or every year you receive additional payment on top of that amount. So if you bought $20 worth of that stock, then you're going to receive a percentage, whatever their dividend payout might be. It might be 9%, 10%. They'll add that on either every quarter or every year. And you can then reinvest that money, or you can simply just take the payout. It's totally up to you. I like these even more than savings accounts because it pays a lot better than a savings account. And right now there are so many stocks that are low price, including a lot of the dividend stocks. So it's a great opportunity to buy these dividend stocks while they're priced low. If you don't already know how the real estate market works, let's say, for example, you buy a stock for $3, and then after the quarantine is over and the economy recovers, that stock then becomes worth $10, right? And let's say that it's a 9% dividend. Well, instead of you receiving a 9% dividend on $3, you're now receiving a 9% dividend on $10. So it's a great way. You took that $3, turned it into $10, plus you're getting a 9% payout. Can't beat it. I do have a blog article available that has 17 dividend stocks that you should buy. They range in price all the way from $3 to $200. I do have a cluster of them at the top of the list that are very, very cheap right now, and so I do suggest people buying those up while they're still low, because after the quarantine, these are definitely going to be worth a lot more money. So it's a time to get in with low cost stocks and be able to earn some extra income that way. So if you noticed, all of these don't require you to have any special skills. They don't require you to change who you are. It's using what you already have to just basically change your financial situation. And that goes for whether it's any of these passive income options or any of these real estate options. So at the end of it, that's what all of this was always about. It's about, showing people that you're capable. Every one of you is capable. Like I said at the beginning, the only difference between the survivalist who goes out into the rainforest and knows how to use his environment to his benefit, the only difference between that person and someone else who hasn't been trained on it is the access to information. In the times that I was going through struggles, it's the time that I learned how to be a survivalist, and not only how to survive, but how to take control of my environment. And so that's what I'm trying to pass on, that utilizing what you already have within your grasp is enough. You are enough. When people say that, I want you to really, 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 truly understand it. Beyond just saying you're good enough as you are, because you are. You're brilliant. You're amazing. But you are enough. All you needed was the information on how to use what you already know and what you already have to have the lifestyle that you want, to have more financial comfort in your life, to have more access to resources, So that's what all of this is about. That's why I share this information, is because I want to see more of us out there owning property. I want to see us out there having lower cost of living. Because you should have extra money in your pocket, and you should not have to fight for a different job. You should not have to wait to get a promotion to advance your situation. You already have things within your grasp that you can utilize to change your lifestyle and to change your financial situation. So putting yourself into that position to where you're more empowered. Imagine being empowered enough to say, I don't need this job. I want it because it definitely adds resources to my household, but you walk different and you move different whenever that job is not your only access to income, that it's not your everything, that you aren't destabilized if you lose it. That's what one thing that the quarantine really, really highlighted is, if you don't have anything else but your job paying for your lifestyle, your cost of living, your needs, is that a place that you want to be in? So these options of like real estate investment and all these forms of passive income, these are ways of truly empowering yourself and your household without having to really extend yourself past the time and energy you already output. That's basically the goal of this. So if you're interested in learning more, let me know. Hit me up, comments, messages, whatever. If you have my number, give me a call. Let's talk. Because that's what I'm here for. My goal has always been, I want to just see more of us comfortable, more of us empowered, because when you truly feel empowered, you walk different and you demand different. And so when it comes to making sure that our society is going forward in the way that we want it to, when you know you good, when you know you have the things that you need solidified, you're going to walk with more confidence, and you're not going to back down from fighting for everything that all of us need, and from protecting and strengthening this community.
I'm unstoppable, yeah, unstoppable. I'm unstoppable, yeah, unstoppable. I'm unstoppable, yeah, unstoppable. I'm unstoppable, yeah, unstoppable.